the third week after starting to date my wife, Kathy, we're sitting on my couch in my apartment. It was like this tiny little box of a living room. And we were just talking, and I remember thinking what she wanted in terms of a family and kids. And I started asking her about marriage, and I started asking her about life. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, is this too soon? Am I going too fast? I wasn't asking her if she wanted to have kids. I wasn't asking her if she wanted to get married. I was just curious to know more about what she was looking for in life, because I wanted to get married. I was looking for a family, and I didn't want to sit here and waste her time or invest a bunch of my time and energy into a relationship that ultimately wasn't aligned.
I have some miscommunication. He's talking about asking someone, and I'm assuming it's both ways. It's a guy and girl. He's talking about asking someone if they're ready for the relationship that you want to be in. If you're wasting your time. Yes, that's important. Yes, you should always try to figure out a person's priorities before you date them for a year. I feel like there's some, steps. But the title of this video says questions to ask a guy to find out if he's a player, which I feel like is completely different from what I feel like is completely different from what he's talking about. So I guess I'm confused, because I feel like they're two different things. Someone can just want to date casually. That doesn't mean they want to go cheat on you. Doesn't mean they want to just go throw you off to the side to be with someone else. They're just not ready for a serious relationship, and they want to see their options. And that doesn't mean that he's a dick.
Now, I'm really passionate about the three questions that I'm going to talk about and why it's so important to ask them earlier on in a relationship. If I'm dating someone, I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to force them to invest their time and energy and emotions into me if ultimately we're not a long-term fit. I want to respect their time, and I also want to respect my time.
I'm assuming those are the questions. I skipped through the video because he just kept talking. He wasn't talking about anything wrong. He was pretty much right about what he was talking about, divorce rates, etc. If you want to know what he was talking about, his video's in the description. It's just, he wasn't getting to the point, so I skipped through it. So here are the questions. I think out of the three questions, the only one that I haven't talked about yet in these videos is the last one, which is, do you want to live together? I don't know when you bring that up. People are okay with different things at different times. Their comfort level is, everyone's comfort level is fluctuating. I don't know if you can see my hand, but I know the majority of young relationships with younger people, I guess I'm speaking from personal experience, but some people don't understand that question. They don't understand what it's like to live with someone. They think that they do, and they can have a pretty good idea of what it's like, but you don't really know until you take that step. And it's a big step. You want to make sure you get along with the person. You want to make sure you know the person. You don't want to just move in with someone. You want to take your time, understand who they are, what they want, what you want. You want to understand if your relationship's going to go long term or not. If you're both looking for a long term relationship and you're both really happy and you've both given it thought, I don't think there's a certain deadline on it. I think that if both of you are competent and understand what you're getting yourself into, then you're adults. You can do what you want. But at a certain point, for younger people, it's a big decision. Even if it's especially if it's your first time moving in with someone, it's a lot to take in. Because then you have your first bills. Unless you're just already living by yourself to begin with, and then you're moving in with them / they're moving in with you, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. I think asking that question and talking about it should be followed up, if not asked beforehand. When do you want to do this? Figure out timetables, figure out when this would line up. When would it be a good time? Figure out what it would really look like with your schedules, with where you work. You know, you also have to think about gas, about the number of vehicles. And there's just hundreds and hundreds of other things that go along with that. And that's just one of the three. You know, there are these other two questions, which I've briefly talked about beforehand, but that's just one out of the three that you see on the screen. To figure out if someone's playing you, I don't know. These questions related to that, related to the title of the video, but related to what he's talking about, figure out if you're wasting your time or not with this person. Are y'all willing to wait? Is it a definite yes or no? Like, there are a lot of things that you have to consider when you ask these questions. So internet, in the last video, I actually called it a day. I actually went to sleep. I was tired. It was getting late. This video is recorded, I don't know how much longer after, because I don't remember. But obviously I have a haircut, and I'm wearing different clothes. I recorded most of these videos back to back, so.
What are you looking for in a partner? How do you want to be supported?
Figure out what kind of qualities you want in a person, what kind of person you want to be dating. Everyone's going to be different. It really comes down to it. For me personally, I think honesty is the most important part of the relationship. For me, because that's the kind of person I would want to be with. Because, you know, even if they're not all the other things, at very least, if they're honest, they'll tell you. So it's kind of like a pros and cons list, where if they're honest, you might get your feelings hurt, but at least you know.
The third and final question you're going to want to ask is when. What's your time frame? It's not really asking it in that way, so harshly. It's just really seeking an understanding of at what point does he want to start moving? Does he want to start moving toward?
Time frame for what?
It's early.
I mean, if you're saying when is like a general sense to all the previous questions you already asked, I don't think that qualifies as a third separate question. That's like following a pattern. It's like following a set path. It's like you ask one question, it's going to lead to other questions. So this is kind of what I'm picking up from this whole video. It's, for starters, you want to, here's the timeline. I'll put a little thing together so y'all can watch it with me, see how my brain's working. You want to take them out to a nice dinner. You want to be in a relationship with them for a year. Let's say a year. You want to be in a relationship with them for a year. After this year is over, you want to sit there and be like, hey, you want to move in together? Do you want to have kids? Do you you want to do all these other things? When you obviously should have known about those things a long time ago, being with them for that long. And then after they give you the answer that they give you, you want to turn around and say, what kind of person do you want to be in a relationship with? Do I fit that criteria that you have made up in your mind? After you've already been dating them for a year. And then you want to proceed that with when? That doesn't make any sense. Or at least to me that doesn't make any sense. Now, people feel differently about different things, about long and short, like in terms of like time frame. And people can do whatever they want in their relationship, given that it's not harming anyone. You know, people can be happy on their own terms. But there's... that just seems confusing. Right? Maybe? Well, as fuck.